is built on the accumulation of previous attempts and previous documents. If you read the roadmap, you see in the preamble all the previous processes and previous agreements and previous UN resolutions. You see the Oslo process referred to, you see the Madrid conference referred to, you see the Security Council 242, you see the Arab Initiative referred to. So I think that one of the good things in it is that it encompasses all the different efforts and initiatives that has been presented so far, and added to it the steps that made it a roadmap, because previous attempts were about trying to deal with the political, with the context. Now this roadmap is suggesting particular steps that would take us into the end game, which is, in our view, very clear in this roadmap, which is ending the occupation. That's why we think that it's a little bit different from previous attempts.
Gentleman in the grey suit, do you have a question?
Is it not reasonable to conclude that the Sharon government is content to have, we'll say, stratagems such as the roadmap and tolerance for, say, low-intensity conflict to continue, you know, to the medium to long term, while it further extends its control of the occupied territories, and ultimately, by creating facts on the ground, will only leave, we'll say, a Palestinian state that can be only described as a Bantustan? Thanks.
Rabbi Melchior.
Well, I politically have never been a supporter of Mr. Sharon, and I will probably also not be it in the future, but I am a member in his government now. And I will tell you that I am doing that because I sincerely believe that he is the right person at this stage to take the steps bringing us in the right direction. And I'm pleased to hear from President Mubarak and from President Abu Mazen the same. So something has happened. Something serious has happened. Things have happened in the Palestinian side, and things have happened in the Israeli side. Also, Sharon himself has changed opinions which he had before. Now, I just want to reiterate, the battle which is going on inside Israel today is so sharp, not because we're talking about the 2% in the settlements in Gaza and the 7,500 settlers living there and in the northern Samaria. It's going on this way because everybody in Israel knows, as you rightly stated also, that this is a first step, and that then we're into a roadmap which eventually will lead to the settlements on the West Bank and Judea and Samaria. Although I'm telling you, as a religious Jew, I feel that this territory is our territory. But I know that the Palestinians feel the same, and I know that in order to have peace, we both have to compromise. And therefore, we will have to leave the large amount of those settlements, and we will have to find, I hope, agreements with the Palestinians based on the 67 line, maybe with swaps of different kinds, as was discussed, by the way, in all different talks which have been the Abu Mazen bail-in plan and the Camp David and the Taba and the Geneva. All of them have had a certain amount because we know the reality on the ground, and we will have to find a way to concretize that. But I think that we're wrong, and here I would just like to add to this. You know, you're right, a roadmap raises expectations. But if we don't do something to raise expectations, to put a little optimism, then we will fall into a total different kind of mode. If people think that we're going to go on forever and ever in this conflict, and we can't bring a perspective, a hope, a vision to our people, then we're going to be back in the deep bloodshed.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be afraid of raising expectations, just as we know that they should be realistic, and that the roadmap doesn't solve all the problems.
Okay, let me bring Ghassan Khatib. You've been writing busily.
Just clarification of 2 points, just to set the records right. I never heard Abu Mazen referring in a positive way to Sharon's policies or practices. I mean, the impression in our side in general, including Abu Mazen, that now Sharon is in front of a test. If Sharon will take the opportunity of the current ceasefire by adhering to the immediate obligations on Israel in this roadmap, including, for example, dismantling the outpost settlements in all the territories and stopping the expansion of settlements, in addition to dismantling the closure regime and removing the Israeli forces from the Palestinian cities, then I think that Sharon is going to be responsible for wasting this opportunity.
All right.
The second point, if you allow me, it is deceiving a little bit. I mean, how can evacuating settlements in Gaza be a positive step while the rest of the settlements in the vast majority of the territories are being expanded? The criteria of judgment for the seriousness of this Gaza withdrawal is if Israel will stop the expansion of settlements everywhere. Otherwise, it will be just a cover-up or a deceiving.
All right. Alastair Crooke, a brief point, because a lot of people waiting for questions.
Very brief. We've had it presented as if there is just two alternatives. Either you do nothing, or else you allow and follow the route of some optimism and try. It's not that. There's a third alternative, and the third alternative is actually to address and confront some of the flaws in the process. And we could just start off by saying, as a first starter, Palestinian cohesion and unity is not only a Palestinian interest, but it's an Israeli interest if we are to bring a genuine end to conflict.
Okay, next question. Lady up there.
I'd like to address the question to Mr. Ghassan. The roadmap is probably not dead, but I think a lot of us believe that it's in a vegetative state. Do you really believe that Israel will make any fair or sincere measures to resuscitate the roadmap?
Frankly speaking, I think, in my analysis, this Israeli government is not interested at all in the roadmap. I think that this Israeli government will face a challenge if this ceasefire will work and if we will move towards certain obligations that are stipulated in the roadmap vis-à-vis Israel, because one of the earliest obligations would be stopping all kind of settlement expansion, in addition to dismantling what is called outpost settlements.
Okay, gentleman in the yellow shirt up there.
My question is going to Mr. Crooke. A while ago, you spoke of the fact that international community, which stands for the third party in all of this, and whose representative are you, is interested in the solution, not the process itself. And since the opinion is such, I was wondering why participate in the creation and launching of such a process, which in its constitution does not offer a solution to conflicted sides. Thank you.
Thank you. When you look at this, if you're looking at the process to start with, it is very important that there should be people at the inside who are directly involved in it, who can point out the flaws and the failings of the process. Simply to stand on the outside and do nothing, as has been rightly pointed out, is not a solution. It also takes people on the inside to point out the flaws. Whether they're addressed or not is more than just one or two people. It's a question of the involvement of Israel, the United States, Russia, and the United Nations.
Any of our student community have
My question is particularly to the two gentlemen over here, who's got...
over here being where? To my left or to my right?
To your left.
To my left, okay.
Right, sorry, sir. To my left. My question is, the optimism that you have for the peace process, has the demise of Yasser Arafat, a rude word to use, but contributed to your optimism?
Khatib.
No, I don't think at all that the absence of late President Arafat has been responsible for the changes. I think that the current Palestinian leadership is continuing more or less the same positions, the same political positions that has been held by the previous leadership. I think that
is that strictly true? It has done a lot more on the security front, hasn't it? Abu Mazen, since he took over, he's done a lot more.
Abu Mazen received positive treatment from the other side that wasn't presented to President Arafat. And let me be clear, in this